This is Vaughn, and I want to show you some of the new features in version 048 because they're quite different. We'll start at the screens so you can see how the features affect you. And you can see now Screens has a login box, and because we're not logged in, see edit mode and manipulating the screen is all disabled. If we go to guest, we'll see that those options are still disabled, and guest did not ask for a PIN number. But if we go to Vaughn and we put in the PIN, we'll see that those options are now available, and that's due to the new trust system, which I'll explain how to set those things in a minute. The other new control added now is show control list. And if you have security, you can see all of the screen objects or controls that are on this screen, and you can adjust their properties here instead of having to go out to the website. And we'll see that you can turn that on and off by checking the menu, or if you close the window, it'll automatically uncheck the menu for you. Now, let's say guest still has access to turn on this light, but does not have access to switch screens. So we can see you can set these, and where you set these are in two parts. Every object has a minimum trust level required to manipulate that object. So that defaults at like 30, and you can adjust that if you want to increase security on a particular light or something like that to take away the interaction ability from lower trust levels. Now again, every object has that. Only objects that are capable of manipulating other objects really need the second half, which is the trust level property. So we can see here the guest has a trust level of 30 and requires a trust level of 30 to manipulate it. If we go look at my account here, see I have a trust level of 90, so I meet the minimum of 30 to manipulate guest. But I require a trust level of 50 to manipulate me, and guest only has 30. So guest cannot come in here and change my properties, and that protects the system at a very core level. Now, some things are still unprotected, like setting object states, but that will evolve over time. I guess that security level property is no longer needed. Okay, and that'll get you set up with guest. And another thing here is you'll see now that the screen objects are editable from the screens application, I've hidden them to make this list a lot shorter and more manageable. So let's log into the web page as guest to give you a demonstration. Now this is very unsecure. You really shouldn't have any accounts without a password. So if guest goes to Vaughn and let's say tries to update the email address, you see it didn't save. It doesn't really give us a useful message at this point, but if we look in the logs, we can see here that the core database said, that guest tried to do the update, lacks sufficient trust, and it was rejected at the core database level. Again, object add, certain other procs aren't using this security yet, but setting properties and executing methods is currently implemented. I guess one other little thing here, the website logs in with a password, but the Screens application uses a PIN number for touchscreen logins and such. So you can actually secure Screens, not secure the web, not secure Screens on a guest account. Give you a little variety. If you're exposing any of this to the public, I suggest you lock it all down. And one other little thing I want to show you is some change in the manager here. Oh, it's already running. The web controls for UWS, which is actually 3 different services, are now controllable from Manager. So you can start and stop either one of these individually or together. If you're doing an upgrade, I suggest stopping them both. And then I got rid of those icons, and you can just launch either application from clicking the menu items there. There's over 20 changes in this release. A lot of them were bug fixes. These are the major impactful ones that I'm setting up. Now, your default values for new people, and it allow you to use this system without having to adjust anything. The minimum trust levels by default are 30. The trust level on people by default is 90. So this should all work out of the box. But if you want to start implementing tighter security, you can go in and adjust these values. Thanks. See you.